Hi everyone, I am back with another video. So this is January 2026 reading wrap up. So I'm sure you know how these go by now. Books usually fall on top of me, first of all. And I have everything on my phone ready to go. So actually, we've got an interesting set of books because I can't actually tell you about some of these. So let's go. So, I'm going to start off with Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. So, I read this for an upcoming video and gave this 1-star. I DNF this at 35%. That is all I will say. Then I read, it's called What If? Serious Scientific Answers to Absurd Hypothetical Questions by Randall Munroe. So this is basically about one man answering some of the unanswerable questions using science, like what if everyone jumped at the same time? How long could a nuclear submarine last in space? What if DNA vanished? What are the odds of meeting soulmates? And could we build a Lego bridge between London and New York? So, I gave this 5 stars. This was both interesting and actually entertaining. Some of them questions though do make you think what's going on in someone's head. See if I can find one. Given humanity's current knowledge and capabilities, is it possible to build a new star? Like, seriously, people, would dumping antimatter into the Chernobyl reactor when it was melting stop the meltdown? Let me find one of the weirdest ones. It was a really weird one. And it was ever so slightly concerning. This one. How many houses are burned down in the United States every year? And what would be the easiest way to increase that number by a significant amount? Like, who the hell is asking that? The answers were also interesting from the point of view of someone who likes science, so like me. And also he has really like funny sketches in there as well. So he draws like different like stick sketches and things like that. So I really enjoyed that. It was weird but worth it. Then we have the Patrick Melrose novels by Edward St. Aubyn. This is another one I read for those videos, that video even. So this is a 3-star. That's all I'm going to tell you. On my Kindle, I read Wretched by Wretched? I think that's how you say it. By Emily McIntyre. This is the 3rd in the Never After series. This is the Wizard of Oz one. A woman can be great and terrible too. Evelyn Westerly has always been the bad guy. As the brains and the brawn and the botanist behind her family's drug empire, she's her father's ruthless secret weapon, with her days divided between perfecting her greenhouse, seeking revenge for her sister's murder, and putting a gun to the head of anyone in her way. Evelyn doesn't have time for anything else, especially not for love. I gave this one 3 stars. I'm a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz, in case you don't know. I have my collector's limited edition VHS set over there. I have a I have the board game, the collector's DVD editions down there. My original DVDs that still work from when I first started watching it. I have the entire book series and multiple editions of the first book. This was not a retelling at all. It was like a whole new entire story. The plot with Nick was not working. No gang would ever let a new person in like that. Bringing Nessa, like Nessa Rose essentially, was unnecessary. She's not prominent to the original story at all. She has the shoes, that is it. This is a retelling of Wicked, not a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, basically. And I like Wicked the musical, not the film, not the book either, not the film. The musical, the Broadway musical, not the films. Yeah. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, another one for that video. I gave this one 4 stars. I'll just do the last one for that video, which was The Ego Trick by Julian Baggini. I gave this one 4 stars as well. Then I read The Black Dahlia Avenger by Steve Hodel. So probably another thing you don't know about me. I like true crime. I like ghost hunting, all of that. So I first heard about this off the Ghost Adventures crew when they went to the Black Dahlia house. Well, Franklin House as it's known. So this is about... I'm not going to show you the inside of this. I'm not... I'd probably get banned off YouTube if I did. So on a January morning in 1947, a bisected and mutilated body of Elizabeth Short was discovered in a vacant lot. This brutal crime, which became known as the Black Dahlia murder, led to the largest manhunt in LA history. The killer teased and taunted the police and the public for weeks, but his identity stayed a mystery, and the murder remained the most tantalising unsolved case in the last century. Until this book revealed a very bizarre solution. So, George Hodel, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this, was a doctor. He was one of the very few men who knew how to bisect people the way the Black Dahlia was bisected. It's a very, very unique operation to do. She was extremely delicately bisected. From like the lower spine area. There was a lot of brutality with her murder. She was given a permanent smile. Things were in places they shouldn't be. She was naked as well, left naked. So Steve Hodel, who is the son of George Hodel, was a retired LAPD detective turned private investigator, and he took upon this case. And he revealed a lot about his family as well, and his stepsister or sister, how she was kind of, I suppose, pimped, in a way, across a couple of George Hodel, well, yeah, incest as well, with her father and across his friends. And it's very much a Jekyll and Hyde. George Hodel's like a Jekyll and Hyde, really. He has this very nice doctor side to him, and suddenly he's an outright murderer, really. There was 10 other women. He was a highly respected member of society by day and a psychopathic killer by night. I truly believe 100% he killed the Black Dahlia and killed the other women too. I know a lot of the reviews on this book on Goodreads are saying he's not, but when you read this, the evidence does stack up against him. And knowing the story as well yourself before you even go into this, what would be classed as biased, but yeah, I'd give that a 5 stars because how in depth it was. I didn't actually write a review on here because I know I'll get a lot of flack for it, and I'm not having that. Anyway, moving on. I suppose I was going to say to moving on to something a bit more jolly. Halo: The Flood by William C. Deeks. I'm going to admit this now. I've never played Halo. And this is the second book. Don't ask why I bought it. I gave this one 4 stars, actually. It's a very on-page action-based, it's so tiny, it's a mass-market paperback. Non-stop action. It does read like the game. I have watched playthroughs of the game. And when I say I've watched playthroughs, I've watched YouTube playthroughs, and I've watched my brother play it. So, playthroughs. It does capture the horrors of the events of the flood well, including extra detail. And there was a lot more combat than plot. It was enjoyable and works very well for the world. I want a bigger copy, if I can. Because mass market paperbacks are alright, but actually it's kind of beat up, to be fair. I would like a bigger copy. I finished my audiobook of Eclipse, finally. Took me bloody long enough. Eclipse is not my favourite Twilight book. It's a 3-star. It's my least favourite in the series. Both Edward and Jacob are very competitive for Bella's affections, and it just ruins the development that they had in the last 2 books. Jacob developed quite well in New Moon, so did Edward as well. They went back to being annoying, they went back to being controlling, and Bella's whiny. You're probably thinking, does she even like Twilight? I do. I like the Volturi. Lack of action scenes. So much so, really, that when they placed the battle scene with Victoria, the wolves, the newborns, and then bringing the Volturi guard in, and even having the Jasper lot fight, it was weird. It didn't really suit the book at all. It was just focused on that love triangle. If you cut about 200 pages out, this book probably would have been there. And I'm currently now on Breaking Dawn. On my Kindle, I read Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. This is a 3-star. I've only really liked Satan's Affair and the Cat and Mouse duet. There's a lot of spice, which is kind of to be expected from H.D. Carlton. It lacked plot. It was a slow-moving plot anyways, but it just lacked. Sawyer and Enzo barely explored the island they were stranded on, which probably would have helped the plot. And Sylvester was creepy. He was a creepy-ass man. Enzo's character as well needed to be toned way, way down. He was way too angry and way too aggressive for my liking. And then I read The Lonely Husky by Hannah Gold. I swear I read something else. Did I not? No? Okay. I gave this a 5 stars. This is a middle grade about April Wood. So this is actually part of the... It's not part of the series, but it's a spin-off of the Last Bear series. And what she does is April goes to volunteer for the polar race, which is a long-distance dog sled race across the frozen tundra. And she wonders if this may be an adventure too far. So, I love this. This actually was amazing. This is a great middle grade. It's cute. It's adorable. I love the huskies. I actually saw some huskies when I went to Lapland not a few years ago. Oh my god, that's 13 years ago that now. I'm getting old. That was 13 years ago I went to Lapland. Jeez. Wow. Anyway, so it's nice to see the process of rehabilitating a husky. Blaze is cute. It shows kids that it's not easy, but with patience it can be possible. There's a lot of adventure, animal friendship, the sledding is really cool, and there's a lot of character development and a lot of courage, and it's a great thing for kids to actually see. I am keeping this, so I'm not donating this. I want to keep it. I love a good husky story. But no, it was good. Yeah. And then I read an arc called Hear Ye Mortals by Yamil Saeed Mendez, which is only coming out on the 5th of May. I gave it 3 stars. There will be a separate video for this. It's about 2 brothers who fight against a totalitarian regime in a historical YA. It's set in 1976 in Rosario, Argentina. And these 2 brothers have a passion for music and a bond as best friends. They're considered enemies of the state, even though they are just teenagers. So, I will let you know more about that in its own video. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.